Hello, and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. This is the show where we help members of the public to get the very best price for their antiques and valuables.
Bearing in mind I am a struggling dealer.
Struggling, come on.
I'll be stepping in to sort things out. I think the offer's ridiculous.
But I've been shamed, therefore.
Today the show comes to you from Gloucester. There's a terrific crowd of people. They want to walk away with cash in their pocket or gamble and go to auction. But either way, they want the real deal.
Sellers are lining up to meet the dealers. First in to see Stuart Hofgartner is Priscilla, so let's get quacking.
I bought 4 flying ducks and I'd like to get as much as I possibly can get.
Coronation Street.
Yeah.
Typical on the wall on the
Yeah.
opening
Yeah.
scene of Coronation Street when in
Yeah.
the 60s. It might still be used, didn't
Yeah.
it? Certainly
Yeah.
that was the first thing you saw
Yeah.
on the programme.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you know about them before we get into where they
Nothing
came
much, only where they came from, my mother-in-law.
They came
had
from
them.
mother-in-law?
Yes, and they were up on a wall and the ceiling fell down. And so she said, you better take those ducks away.
Before they get
They
damaged?
broke. You better to my husband, my late husband.
Okay, and in nice condition by the look of it, nice gloss, nice. Do you know the sort of era when she acquired them? 30s?
Well, my husband was 15 when he bought them for her.
Right.
And he would have been 80 this year.
65 years ago?
Yeah, 65 years.
Okay, 30s, 40s, 50s, we get to 50s, that's about
Yeah.
Coronation Street started
Yes,
in the 50s,
yeah,
isn't it?
yes,
So
it
that's
did.
why they were on there.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this, apart from the condition that they're all perfect, is that one's marked Falconware.
Yes, I
So
noticed
guess,
that.
is it this one?
Is that
No,
that one?
it's Falconware,
Yeah,
and the rest are marked Silvac.
yeah.
Now, I didn't know, but presumably Silvac and Falconware were the same firm at one
yeah.
time, because the numbers are consecutive.
Ah, yes, they are.
So on 3 of them, the
They
numbers
are.
run in line.
Yeah,
Quite iconic, quite interesting. I
Yeah.
can see them going up the stairs.
yes. Not my stairs. I got watercolours up there. I do watercolours.
So there you go. It's ducks or watercolours, and then ducks had to go.
Yeah,
And I'll have a go at mine, and we'll see what we can rustle up, shall we?
yeah.
20, 40, 60, 80, £100. That's almost, that's on there. I'm past it, am I?
Yeah, no, you can go a little bit.
David.
I'm just thinking back in a nostalgia where I can hear Hilda Ogden.
Yeah.
And Stanley, you know, and I can see them on their wall. We have had similar examples on the show before.
Yes.
Some of them have been damaged. These seem to be in remarkable condition.
They are in remarkable condition.
Now, I can tell you that the independent valuers and auctioneers, they were kind of 30 to 60 pounds. I have to say, I think it's still a little bit on the low side. Let's see what Stuart says. He might be prepared to be a little bit more tempting. I think they're worth a little bit more just because of the reputation, the association with Coronation Street of similar items.
Thank you very much.
I don't know what I should say. Thank you, David, or not.
No. Well, I thank you.
Because
if
you were going to
were
take
gonna
my
be-
money, weren't you?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't? OK,
No.
sorry. David likes
You
them. He
could
can
do
see
that,
what
then.
I can see in them.
I can see what. Yeah, I
yeah.
can see as well. For a collector, yes.
£120.
Yeah, yeah.
Have we a deal?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
I was very pleased with the deal, and I'm hoping to get enough money up together to go with that money to go to Paris.
Oh la la, Priscilla. Across the den, James has brought David Tutman a silver seal from the bygone days when letters were sealed with wax. So, how much does he want for it?
I'm hoping to get around £150 for it. I've seen David before and he's quite a fair chap, so let's hope I get the money.
I'm going to try and buy it. I'm happy to give a decent price for it, but I don't really know what a decent price is, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Might this be something to write home about then? No wonder it's grabbed the attention of the Duke and auctioneer Philip Allwood.
What a lovely thing. Would you like to describe what you brought in?
It's a seal, a memorial seal by Hester Bateman, circa 1770. She was a female silversmith. She took on the business after her husband died. And she's described as the queen of the silversmiths.
Why don't you come and sit here and I'll go and sit over there? You obviously know much more about this than I do.
I've collected silver for quite a few years.
Right,
and,
yeah.
I tried to collect the better names and the good condition stuff.
Yeah. Why you decided to sell it?
I just, I've got quite a lot, and perhaps it's time to sell a bit. And the show was in town, so I thought, why not come along?
Well, we're thrilled that you did.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at it. Really, really sweet little silver fob seal would have been on the watch chain, wouldn't it? Crisp, beautifully made. And if we look underneath, look at the quality of that seal on there. Absolutely wonderful.
Fantastic.
You don't know what seal it is. Have you done any research?
I haven't done the research into the family, but
It looks Welsh, doesn't it? That looks like a Welsh.
could well be, yeah. I mean, it must have been quite an important family to.
I would have thought so.
To have her make it as well.
And here we have HB, Hester Bateman. One of the best 18th century silversmiths.
I think that's an early mark as well. She had several marks.
Yeah. Just a lovely, lovely object. There's a slight line round there where it looks may at some time have had some repair. What do you think?
I don't know. I bought it as it is. And
You just look in there. It's looks as if it might have had a repair around there.
I'm not sure.
But what a lovely, lovely object.
Small, beautiful, interesting, quite rare, and of course has the mark of Hester Bateman.
It's certainly, being by Hester Bateman, going to be a popular piece. There are all sorts of collectors out there for her works. She was prolific. This is, though, quite rare. You don't see too many seals by her.
I think you're right. Now, the independent valuers, they're saying 100 to 150, which I think is a reasonable estimation. What are you saying?
I'd go along with that, I think. I think the Hester Bateman name will double its normal price, I think, for this sort of thing. So if we were saying 60, 80 pounds for a normal seal of this type, 100, 150 pounds seems reasonable. I wouldn't be surprised to see it make the top end of that.
And I know David, he'll be after this like a shot.
All right, I'm going to put some money on the table.
Good. That's what I'm here for.
£50, 100, £150.
It's a very good offer.
I think it's a very good offer.
£150 on the table, straight to the top estimate. He's blown all that away. What do you think?
I think that was a pretty good offer.
I need to get in there quickly.
I want to buy it. I'm not going to mess around. Oh no, he's turned up.
Well, just before David snatches that away from you, let me tell you what I think about it, what our independent valuers and auctioneers say. 100 to 150 is the general feeling of expectation from the independent valuer and from the auctioneer. That's well in line with the expectation of our experts and our auctioneer. And I would say it's a fair offer.
Thank you, David.
There you are, James. We didn't need him, did we?
No, we didn't need him, no. No, that's a very fair offer, and I'm willing to accept it.
Fantastic, James.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thanks,
for
David.
bringing in such a lovely object.
Lovely, thank you.
What a wonderful thing. I loved it, thrilled to buy it. We'll probably give it to my wife because she wears a lot of silver.
I thought it was a very fair offer. It seems like a very fair dealer. And with the money, I'm going to spend it on exercise equipment for my home.
Coming up, Eric isn't having any of it.
Can't accept the first offer, can I?
You can, isn't
No,
it?
I can't.
No, in fact, we have a saying in our trade, the first offer is always the best offer.
No.
But will Karen put down any more money? Find out after the break.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
It's all go in the den today, and as there's not a minute to waste, let's head over to Karen Delmeny's table. Eric has a plan to get what he wants for his brooches.
I'm going to be a bit pushy with the price, and I don't want to go home with anything less than 150.
Pretty good stock, slightly out of vogue at the moment, so we'll see where we go with this one. two very nice brooches you bought in here,
Yes.
which I'll go into. But first of all, tell me, are they yours or are they family pieces?
They're my wife. They were left to my wife by her auntie when she died about 10 years ago. And they just stayed in the cupboard and done nothing with them, and thought now would be a good time to bring them down and have a look.
Not her cup of tea then, really? Not really
No, not
something
really.
she'd
No,
wear?
she's not into wearing jewellery or that much like that. So no, they're not really her thing.
Yeah. And do you know anything about them at all?
No, her aunt used to work in an antique shop in Tewkesbury.
Oh, right.
And so she used to gather and collect odd bits and pieces from the shop. So
Yeah.
and I think these probably came from there at the time she was working there. So
Okie doke. Let's have a look. Well, this one, first of all, is a very nice sort of late 19th, sort of turn of the century shell cameo. And obviously in the shape of a shell,
Yeah.
it's carved into the shell. That's where you get the two layers. There's two different types of cameo. You get shell cameos and you get hard stone cameos. If it was a hard stone, we'd be looking at a whole different league.
Okay.
Because the skill in carving into it, the stone and getting the contours and the dimensions and everything, there's a lot more work, but it's very much crisper.
okay.
Quite popular, mass produced. The thing with this, I had a quick look at the hallmark and I can just see it on the edge there. We've got the anchor, so it's Birmingham 9 carat 375, but very, very late. Only about 30 years old, something
Really?
like that, yeah.
Okay.
So I think possibly what she had was she had the cameo and just thought, oh, I really like that, I'll get it mounted.
Okay.
So that's that little one there.
Okay.
This one here, we've got 9 carat gold, which is great. Shell cameo again, but she's incredibly modern. Can you see that the design
Yeah,
of that?
yeah.
It's not a Victorian lady or
No,
Victorian head. And the mountain in here being 9 carat again, 375, is again only sort of 20, 30 years old.
Okay.
And I think that cameo is very, very similar date.
Okay.
So you've really got two values. You've got the value in this one anywhere as a shell cameo, late 19th century, and quite a nice subject. Not so much with that one.
No.
But what is also important is you've got the value of the mounts.
The mounts, yeah.
So that's where I am, and that's what I'm
Okay.
looking at.
Okay.
So if you get a little bit of money for this, have you got anything you'd like to put it towards?
Yeah, it was my wife's 50th birthday recently, and
Yeah.
we're going on a cruise for her
Fantastic.
birthday in September. And we just thought we'd put the money towards an excursion while we're on the cruise.
Okay. A few
So-
bottles of the old bubbly?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, definitely.
Great, love to hear it. Now this is a little tricky for me. I can't weigh them because I don't know what proportion's gold
No,
and what
that's
proportion's shell cameo. So I've got to do a little bit of a guesstimate here as to what is a fair price for you, but I'm pretty sure you'll tell me straight away if it's not.
I'm sure the gold is very heavy, actually.
Oh yeah, I suppose you would say that, Eric, yeah. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 squid.
That might just about buy that one.
Come on, Eric, work with me. I can't be that far out, I don't think.
Oh, I think you're a little bit more than that then.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'm going to put another 20 quid on the pot, so 120 altogether. And I think at this stage you and I could both do with a bit of advice, actually.
I think we probably could, yeah.
Should we get the great man in?
Yeah, I think we should do,
And
yes.
as we speak, here he comes.
Wow,
The
that's good.
difficulty with cameos, you know, in some ways they are terribly undervalued and underestimated,
Yep.
but they're not so fashionable to wear anymore.
No,
We've got two estimations. We've got 100 to 150, and then we've got 120 to 180. But you know, 100 and how much, Karen?
120.
Not easy to beat. You go to the sale room,
Yep.
I honestly don't fancy your chances because of that one.
Yeah.
I don't think that's helping it. So I'm going to say Karen will sell these and get out of them, but the profit margin will be 20 or 30 quid.
okay.
So, look, it's your decision. I don't want to sway you one way or the other. They're sentimental objects, and it's entirely up to you.
Oh, there was a wide margin from the experts, going from 100 to 180.
Still in it though, wasn't I? 120.
Yeah, so another bit more.
Another tenner.
Can't accept the first offer, can I?
You can. There's
No, I can't.
No. There's no rule anywhere that says you can't. In fact, we have a saying in our trade: the first offer is always the best offer.
No.
But I will put another tenner down. I'll buck the trend, so that's 130 quid. Have we got a deal?
Yes, okay. We got a deal.
A bit reluctant there.
Well, I'd liked a bit more for the cruise, but there you go.
Oh dear, Eric, it was 20 quid shy of what you wanted, but still a good amount towards an excursion on your holes, eh, Karen?
Seemed a little bit disappointed, but he won't be when he's on that cruise having a nice time. He'll remember me then.
Eileen has brought in a vase for Debbie Serple.
Very pretty. It's got a real sort of girly appeal.
I will be happy with perhaps 60, 65 pounds.
Tell me what you know about this lovely vase.
Well, I believe it's Victorian. And is it called Vaseline?
It is a
glass?
Vaseline piece. That's how I would describe it. So it has that iridescence, that opalescence about it that's slightly oily, isn't it?
Very pretty.
Very pretty, with a cranberry top.
That's right.
And tell me how you came to own it.
Well, I bought it at auction about 30 years ago.
And it looks perfect.
It is. It's perfect. No, it's not marked at all. It's been kept in the china cabinet, obviously the door on. So
because of course one knock and that would be the end
if they're
of it.
on the shelf, they're much more prone, aren't they?
They are, and they have that top heaviness about it. Have you ever been tempted to put a flower in it? Or
I haven't.
No.
No, I haven't.
Never dared.
No, because if you do, the water often marks the glass,
It
and
does.
it's very difficult.
It does. It's difficult to get out, and then the collectors don't want it.
No.
But wouldn't it look amazing with something in it?
Would,
Just
yes,
one or
it would.
two beautiful stems.
Yes, it would.
It has no mark.
No.
To me, it looks continental. It has that feel about it. I think that shape was very much a nouveau shape that was picked up and enjoyed and copied.
Yes.
So I don't know. I really don't know. I'd like to buy it, and I'm buying it purely on its aesthetic appeal, for the same reason you bought it, by the sound of it.
Indeed, yes. It is very pretty. I'm sorry in a way to lose it, but I'm doing what many other people are doing these days, and that is, to use modern parlance, decluttering.
Decluttering.
So I'm thinning out.
Shall I see if I can tempt you?
Yes, indeed, yes, please.
20, 40, 60 pounds.
No, I think could you put on a little more? Do you
A
think?
little bit more.
Please.
How would a very crisp £5 note be? Bearing in mind you've got your seller's premium at auction.
Yes, another 5 and I will...
So if I take the 5 away and put a 10 in place and make it £70, do we have a deal?
We do, yes.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm delighted to own it. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
very much. Thank you. Very pleased indeed. Yes, I'm really quite satisfied. I think it's very fair.
It will go straight to my next trade fair, and I don't think I shall be coming home with it.
That sounds like fighting talk, Debbie, and we'll find out later how you do. Coming up, the Duke gives David a telling off.
Not terribly impressed.
I think David's going to come and try and persuade you to take my money.
Well, I think the offer's ridiculous.
Find out if Tuppers books up his ideas after the break. Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from glorious Gloucester. Sellers are still rocking up with their prized possessions, and Paul's got a pretty little thing for David.
Well, I bought an ivory trinket box at a car boot sale a few months ago for £2.50.
But of course, he's not going to tell David that.
It's a pretty little box, not of great value. I don't think I'm going to pay more than about £40 for it.
I'm hoping that he might offer me, you know, 175 quid for it or something like that.
How much? Good luck then, Paul.
You brought us in a little box. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Well, it's ivory and it's been kicking around in the drawer at home for about 10 years. I don't know where it come from originally.
Right, through the family? Or?
Yeah, probably, you know. And I brought it down today just to, you know, get an idea of how old it was, really.
Yeah. Let's have a look at it, see what we've got. We have a little ivory box, ivory top and bottom. And in the top of it, we have a miniature. And this miniature is painted on ivory. I think late 19th century, maybe even early 20th century, maybe Edwardian, judging by the style of miniature in it. A very sweet little box in very good condition. I don't think it's going to be worth an enormous amount of money, but let's put a little bit on the table and see if we can tempt you. I'm going to put down 20, 40 pounds.
Not terribly impressed.
I think David's going to come and try and persuade you to take my money.
Well, first of all, I heard Paul say, not very impressed.
Yeah, that's about right, yeah.
I think the offer's ridiculous. 150 to 250 is what our independent valuers say, and the auctioneer, and that is nowhere near, David,
It's
in
quite
the
late, David.
ballpark.
It's in the style of an earlier French box. I think
I
it's
agree with
French. I think the miniature's beautifully painted, but it is very late.
Well, I'll go along with that, but it is ivory, not bone.
Well, I've been shamed there, Paul. I'm going to put some more money down, but I'm still not going to get near that 150 to 250. Let me put some more money down. Let's see how we go. 60, 80 pounds. How does that sound?
No, not based on what the valuers say.
No. Well, I have to put down my own money. The valuers can, you know, valuers are what they like. But I personally think that that's a reasonable offer for that box, but I may be wrong.
Okay, I understand that. He obviously doesn't rate this. I feel like the independent valuers, the 150 to 250 seems realistic, and because of that, I'm going to persuade you to go to auction. So let's get to auction and let's see how we do.
Auction it is.
Yes, well, I hope you have a lovely day out, and I hope it does really well.
Okay.
And thank you very much indeed for bringing it in. Such a nice object. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to auction. It'll be a day out, and hopefully get a city break out of it somewhere in Europe.
I think it may fetch a bit over £100, but not much more. We'll see.
So was 80 quid a good offer then, Philip?
I think the watercolour in the top is worth at least that on its own. So put the box into the equation as well. £80 would seem very stingy.
But remember, Paul only paid £2.50 in the first place. So let's see if his big gamble pays off.
You sat down with David Tupman. He didn't really go for it anywhere near my expectation. He offered you £80. I think you did right by turning down £80. There is a £150 reserve you placed on it today. It's a smart thing. I believe in it. But the most important thing is, do they believe in it, the people that are here in the sale room? Let's find out. It's coming up over there.
The 19th century ivory trinket box. There we go, with the painted medallion there. Should be 100 to get on. 100. 80. 50 pound of it there. 55. 60. 5. 70. 5. 80. 5. 90. 5. 100. At 110
It's at
now.
100.
At £100. At £100.
Still a
110 if you
little
like
bit
now.
low. It's
At
100.
£100 looks cheaper. 100. 110 can I say now then? At £100 you all saw. Needs a little bit more, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, the gambler's gone down. It didn't sell. Disappointed?
A little bit, yeah, but that's the way it goes.
Well, we've raised your expectations and then we've dashed them again here at the sale room. I'm going to say to you, don't worry too much, because that is a superb item. And on another day, in another sale room, I'm sure it would do better than the £100 that was offered here. But the real deal, that goes to David Tupman at £80. Dave, you were on the money.
Better luck next time, Paul. And congratulations for finding such a star buy for just £2.50. Back in the den, David has taken over one of the dealer's tables. But who is he with?
The lady next to me here is Anne Rachel Harwood. Now, tell me your title and which museum do you come from?
I'm the Curator of Human History at Cheltenham Art Gallery and Museum.
OK. Now, all these items here relate to a very, very famous explorer who was, in fact, a local man.
That's right, they belong to Edward Wilson, who was born and brought up in Cheltenham, and he became the artist and zoologist on the 2 expeditions Robert Scott made to the Antarctic.
OK, so the great Captain Scott, he was on the first expedition in
1901 to 4.
OK, and then we had the fateful expedition, of course, which was
1910 to 1912.
Yeah, and that's where both Scott and this man perished.
That's right.
So all these items relate to him. Let's look up here, first of all, at this picture, and tell me who's on this and where we are.
We're in the Antarctic, we're outside Scott's hut. This is Mount Erebus in the background, and we've got Edward Wilson sitting on the sledge, waiting to go to the South Pole.
OK. Now, whilst he was there in the South Pole, he obviously was an artist as well, because this particular item is one of his watercolours.
Yes, he was a great watercolour artist, the last expedition artist on any adventures. And what he brought back to us was images of the Antarctic that we'd never seen before. We didn't really appreciate they were mountainous. We thought it could have been flat ice. And also images of emperor penguins.
Okay.
And it really started our love affair with the penguins.
So never seen and never recorded by artists prior to this particular artist doing this?
Not really, no. There were a few, but nothing like as extensive as Wilson did.
OK. What about this picture here?
Well, I love this picture. It's probably my favourite in the collection. It's actually by Wilson, and it's showing someone going to take weather readings on top of a local hill, but it really shows the wind, doesn't it?
Amazing, isn't it? Now, what's that picture there?
Well, this shows the 5 explorers that finally did make it to the South Pole. They didn't beat Amundsen, he got there first.
Yes.
But this is a picture of them at the pole in 1912, in January. Wilson's on the left there, and they're just recording they did make it.
Amazing.
But of course they didn't make it back.
And these are some of his personal items. We have here an ice axe, a compass.
Yes, a compass and a watch. They were found on Edward Wilson's body, and for us that's a really significant piece because last March we had the 100th anniversary of the deaths, and
Right.
we held a service in Cheltenham College and a lunch. And a member of the family came up at the end of the meal and said, "I've got something to give you." And I had no idea that existed, and he gave me that compass and put it in my hands and said this was the compass found on my great uncle's body.
How amazing. I'm going to say to you, thank you very much indeed for bringing along this fabulous collection. You are also a fascinating lady, and you really brought to life this polar expedition. Brought back my childhood, it has.
Aww.
Absolutely amazing. That's when men were men.
Certainly was, David. Coming up, is Debbie playing up or is Patrick playing deaf?
Can you hear the wedding bells yet?
Can't even hear the bell for the butler.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
It's been a busy day in the den and there are still more sellers for our dealers to see. Next up is Natalie, who's brought in a gimmicky Zodiac Clock for Karen. But is it destined for her shop window or the auction?
What we got here, a bit of fun. What is it?
It was a clock that we found in the cellar a couple of years ago, and we've never used it for anything. It's just stayed in a box. I put a battery in and it worked, so I thought that somebody that maybe was into the Zodiac would enjoy a piece like this.
Not quite your taste?
Not at all, no. I mean, it doesn't match the decor of the house, and I don't think I've got a room that I could put it in, so...
What are we looking at? I reckon sort of 70s, very sort of 60s, 70s possibly.
Yeah, I think it's about 1950s, bit retro, so...
Bit kitsch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Well, unfortunately for you, it's not my taste either. But I recognise the fact that there are
lots of people in the sort of kitsch and retro market that would actually find this really amusing. I mean, we've got the signs of the Zodiacs going round, haven't we? We've got almost like a ship feel to it with this cord hanging.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
So, just for that very reason, I mean, I don't know how much the battery costs, but there's a bit of money in there. So, now this is going to be one bid and one bid only, Natalie, and I'm apologise in advance. £20.
Yeah. That wouldn't be enough, I don't think.
No, David, I'm so mean. It's only £20.
Well, what we've got here is some people will hate it. Some people will say, oh, it's okay. But the estimation from both auctioneer and independent value is 20 to 40. So that's going to tell you something.
Yeah.
If I send you to auction, can you get more than £20? The problem is, maybe, but it's a close run thing. In my opinion, 20 quid is about it. But if you want to go to auction, I'm your man.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit more, so I could pay for lunch today. Pub lunch for my friend. And
Natalie, I am the first to admit that is not a very enlightening bid. So if I were you, I'd take the gamble. But it's entirely up to you. I'm quite happy to give you £20 for this clock.
I think I'm going to take it to auction and see if I have better luck there.
Oh, well, good luck and have a great day with David.
Thank you. I think it's quite a quirky piece, so I think I'll get about another £20 at auction.
But has our auctioneer taken a shine to it?
Oh, God, that awful thing.
That's a bit mean. Why don't you tell us what you really think?
If it were me, I might have taken the £20 and put it straight in my pocket.
Oh, come on, Philip. Someone's got to love it.
30 to 50 is the estimation. You've got a reserve of 30.
Yeah.
The question is it going to sell for 30 quid? Well, it should do. It's probably worth that kind of money, but it could be a close one.
Yeah.
So hold on to your hat. Here we go. Let's see what happens.
Clock number 30A, the 1950s King's wall clock there. I'm going to start you at 20. I'm going to start you 22. At 22
£22.
Now. At 22, 25. At £25. Good looking little clock at 25.
Close. They're looking for 30. They're not quite there yet.
At £25. At 25, 30.
It's at 30, just in time in the room. I thought we were going to miss it there.
At £30, 5 anyone out. At £30, you're all out in front of me then. At 30, you all saw.
OK, gavel has gone down at £30. Take away the commission, real deal, take home £24. Not bad when you consider it was a freebie left in the cellar by the previous owner.
Natalie's profit was definitely written in the stars. Just goes to show you can't knock a bit of kitsch. So we've just got time for one more deal and we've saved the best till last. Patrick's pendant has got Debbie's heart racing.
Just a beautiful thing. 18 carat gold, mint condition, set with pearls. What more could a girl want?
The very minimum amount of money that I'm going to accept for this item is £300.
Patrick, how does a young man like you end up with a very girly looking pendant?
Well, it's not actually mine. It's my future mother-in-law, perhaps. Haven't actually asked the question yet, so it's all sort of relying on this.
So no pressure on me then?
No, well, no pressure on me, yeah. Or me.
So if you agree to 20 quid, the marriage is off, is that what you're saying?
The marriage is off and I'm in a lot of trouble.
So it's the girlfriend's mother?
That's correct, yeah.
At the moment?
Yes,
It could get more serious?
Well, hopefully, yeah.
Has she told you much about the history of it?
I know it is at least a couple of generations old. It's been passed down through the family.
Yeah.
But for the last sort of 40 years, it's been kept in a jewellery box.
Unworn.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that's quite nice. It's a shame to hide it away.
Well, it's really, really super. I love it. It's enamelling on gold, and I don't know if you're aware, but jewellery has a lot of symbolic meaning.
Yeah.
and it's just screaming a love gift.
Yes, yeah.
Heart shape, no prizes, and the colour red is also very symbolic. But did you know that pearls are symbolic of Venus?
I didn't know.
Yes, and that's why they're set in jewellery as well. So I imagine at one point it's been given by someone who was very much in love with the person that they gifted it to. The other thing about it is it's got a super hallmark on the back.
Yeah.
And with my eyeglass I can easily read that it is marked 18 karat gold. So it's a quality piece of jewellery. It doesn't fall into the category of costume jewellery at all.
Definitely not,
It's a really nice piece. Well, let me put some money on the table and see what you think.
Okay.
50. 100. Can you hear the wedding bells yet?
No.
No.
Can't even hear the bell for the butler.
150. 200. Bells yet?
No, I don't think that'll afford.
Oh, I don't know. I think I can begin to hear them.
Maybe.
Oh, I can hear the bells now.
The bells. Can I hear the bells?
You know, this all hinges on his wedding.
Well, I've just looked at the paperwork on this, and I've gone back to my experts because I looked at the estimation and I thought, that looks quite strong, the estimation. 3 to 4, 3 to 5. And I thought I'm going to challenge them and ask them why. Well, they all tell me, first of all, the enamel work is a very good colour and it's very fashionable at this moment. The workmanship on it is quite exquisite, quite beautiful. And so I'm going to say 200 is not enough. Exquisite little jewel, worth more than 200.
Right, so wedding bells, wedding bells. 250, £300. I think that's a great offer. Bearing in mind I am a struggling dealer.
Struggling. Come on, pulling my leg. A little bit more, and I might give you an invitation as well. And it'll be a mighty fine wedding.
Now, I heard what you say there a little bit more, and I'm going to say this to you, Debbie. I think if you put another 50 quid in there, you would get this deal, and you would walk away with what I think is small, but quite an exquisite jewel. And if it makes the young man happy, and it goes towards the wedding dress, job done.
Make the woman happy, make the man happy.
Make both of you happy,
Exactly.
and that's all I want at the end of the day. So another £50 down. Do we have a deal?
We do, yes.
And
yeah.
I get to be the page boy.
Or the bridesmaids.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Thank
thank you very much. The potential mother-in-law to be will be very happy with £350. I think it'll go a long way to helping towards the cost of a wedding.
I'm so pleased, and I might even treat myself and allow myself to wear it for a bit.
All right for some.
What are the joys of being a dealer?
So everyone's gone away smiling today, especially our sellers, and nearly everyone got exactly what they wanted.
There we go.
Except for Eric, who couldn't quite get his £150 out of Karen.
Yes, OK. We got a deal.
A bit reluctant there.
Well, I'd liked a bit more for the cruise, but there you go.
Karen bought the brooches for £130 and moved them on for £160.
That's what I'm here for.
James did better, as he got precisely what he wanted for the seal.
I'm hoping to get around £150 for it.
£150.
And David did all right too, although he didn't give it to his wife. Instead, he sold it on through the trade.
Thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
As ever, Stuart was generous and paid Priscilla £120, which was almost double the valuation. Unfortunately for him, the only wall they're hanging on is his, so they've yet to be sold. Eileen had definite expectations for her vase.
I will be happy with perhaps £60, £65.
But she ended up squeezing 70 out of our Debbie, who as yet hasn't sold it. She did do a little bit better with the heart-shaped pendant, but not as well as Patrick, who took home £50 more than he was expecting. Well done to our sellers. They earned every penny.
We've had a really exciting day. Great crowd of people turned up. Very exciting, a real buzz. Lots of business going on, buying and selling. That makes the programme. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. See you.